What's up everyone and welcome to my 20th Python tutorial, and today I'm going to talk about something called and or. So we've been playing with numbers and strings and logical operators, which is like if, elif, and else, and today we're going to expand it a little bit more so it becomes easier to write codes with complex ideas. So like, comparing multiple conditions. Uh, which is basically nested if statements. So for comparing, we've only talked about like numbers. If it was like strings, we would do like directly, but you could actually like compare strings like without using if statements. So what I mean by that is like let's have, I don't know, cheese uh and is less than pizza. And if I do this, it input I mean outputs false because in the dictionary or in alphabetical order, C comes earlier than P, so P has larger number assigned to it. So that's why it would print out pizza is larger than cheese. So let's do the other way. Uh, Less than pizza. Now it says true because P has a large number than C. But if we put the same like starting, it would start comparing like the second letter and then so forth. Uh, and this one will like come in handy later on because you could actually use things with this. So yeah. Anyways, so the first thing I want to talk about in today's tutorial is the operator and. So remember when we nested if statements, we had to like satisfy multiple conditions to run like a certain block of code, and it was long because we had to nest a lot of if statements. But how like but with the operator and, it can be simplified much more, especially when you have longer if nested if statements. So what an and is, it checks like if multiple conditions linked by and is like all true or not. If just like one thing is false, the whole entire condition will be unsatisfied and will be outputted as false. So it will only output true if every single condition is satisfied. So here we have this code from like one of the previous tutorials. I've edited this code a little bit so it should be easier to like demonstrate like the logical operators, I mean comparison operators, and then or. So okay, so we have this code and it checks if var is equal to ice cream and flavor is equal to vanilla. And if they are both true, it should print out delicious. If not, it will print out what? Uh, so we could shorten this by using and how you could do this is we're gonna have this copied because it's simpler, and then let's have it and here, and bam. And then what we could do is now just delete this whole line. And you have to watch your indentation here, so delete that one space and save it and then run it. And now it says delicious because where is my window? Alright, so what it did is it checks if variable was ice cream, which it is, and flavor is vanilla, which it is. So both of them are satisfied, which makes it the entire statement true and print out delicious. But let's see what if like we change the flavor to like cherry. Oh, misspelled. So let's see how it goes. So now it prints out what because let's see, variable is ice cream. Yeah, that's true. But flavor is not vanilla, it's cherry, so it's false. So the end statement will automatically make this whole entire statement false because one of them is false, this one. So that's why it will go to else statement and print out what. Uh, the next thing, or the final thing I want to talk about is or, and this is literally the exact opposite of and. So it will print out true if any condition in the like statement is true. So if I swap this to or and save and run, it will still print out delicious because in here this is true and this is false, but this is or. So it only looks at if anything is true, which this one is true. So that's why the whole thing here becomes true, and that's why delicious gets printed out. The only time that will print out false is when I have all falses. So let's just make it ice. And then we're gonna save, run, and then we'll say what because var is not ice, it's ice cream. Flavor is not vanilla, it's cherry. So both of them are false. So now the whole statement becomes false because everything is false. And then it moves on to else and prints out what. Uh, I think that's about it. Uh, and to recap, let's say the and will only output true if all the conditions are met, and the or will output true if any condition is met. It will only print out false if everything is false. And that's the tutorial on and or. And next tutorial we're going to talk about loops in Python, which will open up like many more ways to code things that should and yeah, that should be really fun actually. I actually really like the loops. So anyways, hope you guys learned something and enjoyed this tutorial, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.